Welcome back to another episode of Grit on the Rocks podcast, the place where real talk, whiskey, and a good cigar come together. If you're tired of sugar-coated nonsense, pull up a chair, pour a drink, and let's get into it.
This podcast is a Buenos Dias Media production.
This is the Grit on the Rocks podcast, where raw conversations meet smooth sips. Pull up a chair, pour your favorite drink, puff on your favorite cigar, and join us as we dive into the convos that matter. No scripts, no barriers, just unfiltered truth served straight up. Cheers to the real ones out there. Salud.
I'm so glad to have you guys all here with me. If this is your first time watching, or if it's your 50th time watching, now's a great time, if you haven't done so, to subscribe to the podcast, to our YouTube channel. Leave us a comment on the topic, give us your opinion or your version or your experience. Follow us on our socials on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok as Grit on the Rocks. And I remind you, if you want to be part of the show, you want to submit a story, you just want to send us a random story, or you want to participate in one of our segments of Whiskey Bar Wisdom or Barstool Banter, go to gritontheRocks.com, scroll down to the bottom where it says Contact Us, and send us your message, your story, your opinion, whatever it is you want to share with us. Go to gritontheRocks.com. Scroll down to the Contact Us section and send us your message. All right. So, what are we talking about today? As you see in the title, obviously, this is how to find out if a man or a woman is a mama's baby. Originally, this topic was talking about a mama's boy, but as I did more research, I see, the reality is this goes both ways. So, mama's baby, right? Man or woman. It's become far too normalized to have these grown-ass people walking with a man walking with some fictitious alpha energy, women and men that want to claim that they're grown-ass adults until you see them get upset over something maybe simple. And boom, a whole grown-ass toddler comes out screaming just like a toddler that wants their mama. We also have those that won't make a move until they consult their mom. Every decision requires a type of meeting with mom. We have those that live on their own, right? With the air quotes. But mom still does everything for them. Mom solves every problem for them and does everything for them that an adult is expected to do. That's what makes an adult besides the age. And for those who are married, the sad part is that some of these men carry that nonsense into their marriage, right? And expect their wife to be a sort of substitute mom. And when it comes to their decision making, the wife seems to take a second place to mom. Now, this isn't only for men. There are grown women who also refuse to become fully independent, and their parents influence every life decision that they make as quote unquote adults, even after they've moved out, right? Or got married and have family of their own. So let's dive into this.
The views and opinions expressed by the host, guest, and/or participants of this show do not necessarily reflect the opinions of Buenos Dias Media LLC, its associates, partners, and show sponsors. The content is intended for entertainment purposes and should not be construed as professional advice. Listener discretion is advised.
So originally, like I said, right, I was going to name this like the classic mama's boy checklist. Then I started thinking about how even though women complain about how off-putting a mama's boy can be, the truth is that this happens in both worlds, right? So let's get into this. We all know the type, the grown man or woman who can't make a move without checking in with their mama first. The kind of person who's more attached to their mother more than their own damn spine. And listen, loving your mom is one thing. And I totally agree that our parents deserve to be honored and respected. Yes, I do. They should be honored. They should be respected as our parents. Yes. But being a full-blown mama's baby, that's a problem. So how do you spot one before it's too late? Let's share a little checklist. Number 1, they ask for mom's permission for everything. This person won't buy a pair of socks without running it through their mom first. You ask them what they want to go, where they want to go for dinner. Hey, let me check with my mom first. But do you need permission to breathe too? And again, I'm not saying you shouldn't love and honor your parents, your mom, your dad. But when you become an adult, no longer living at home, especially when you are married, have kids, now you have your own family. But also you have those who moms still do their laundry, right? I'm going to talk to women for a moment. For a single woman who is dating, be aware of the signs. When you pull up to his apartment and see his tighty-whities freshly folded by his mama, just know you're not dating a man, you're dating a toddler in a grown man's body. And for the men who are listening, if you are one of these that has your mom doing these things for you, ladies notice this. And the respect levels drop drastically. And if any moms out there are listening, don't do this for your kids. Shame on all those who enable this behavior because it's enabling the behavior. When you're independent, you have to learn through struggles, through hurdles. That's how you learn how to be a resilient adult. And as mom or as parents, because dads do it too, you cannot be enabling this type of behavior, not letting your grown child already, because they will always be your children, yes. But they need to learn these lessons on their own. They need to learn, oh, if I didn't do laundry because I put it off and I procrastinated, oh, shoot, now I have no underwear for the week. What am I going to do? No, let them figure that out. Okay? All right, number 3 is they call mom every day, sometimes multiple times. For those who still have their mom alive today, a daily check-in is totally cool. 5 FaceTime calls in a day, that becomes a red flag. If your man or your woman calls their mom more than they call you, congratulations. You're the side piece, basically. Some women do this where they check in daily, and most women, as they get older, they build a sort of like a special friendship bond with their mom. And that's great. You know, it's a beautiful thing. My wife does it multiple times a day since now we have our daughter. So now she's on video calls a few times every day where they interact with the baby during the day. And I see nothing wrong with that because we want to keep that connection since they are far away. Number 4. This is a big one. Mom controls the finances. This one is a pet peeve of mine. No matter if you're a man or a woman, if you do it, it's a pet peeve of mine. If mama has access to their bank account, tells him or her where to spend their money, and still helps pay the bills, they're basically on a lifelong financial leash. I grew up with the mentality that as we get older, we move out of our parents' house. You know, maybe you get married. You are responsible for yourself, your finances, and your family. Can there be a situation where we're down on our luck and we reach out to our parents for help? Sure, that's totally normal. You know, I tell my son all the time, Well, I don't really tell him all the time, but I've told him, even in the future, you can always count on us as your parents. We're here for you. But it doesn't mean I'm going to enable shit behavior, right? But when it comes to my finances, they are my and my business only. In case of a married couple, your finances are for you two only to know what goes on and for you two only to make decisions. You can always seek advice without going into specific numbers. And my advice is never take advice from people who aren't in a similar or better situation than you are, no matter what the situation might be. And this is a general advice for everything, not just in finances. Number 5, people who bring their mom into their relationship drama. If you argue with this man and his mama calls you 5 minutes later to discuss the situation, I gotta tell you, ladies, run. If he can't fight his own battles, what's he gonna do when life gets real? Ask his mama to handle it? This one goes both ways. Your parents shouldn't be intervening in your relationship trying to solve your issues. You can't boast about being an adult who makes their own decisions and then can't handle the consequences and needs parent intervention or a spokesperson to advocate for you. And I'm not saying that you don't seek advice from your parents, but you also shouldn't be giving them a rundown of every single disagreement you have with your spouse. And again, that goes both ways. But before we continue, let's hear a word from our friends.
Looking to connect with like-minded men who share your drive for success and passion for the finer things in life? Welcome to the Apex Gentlemen's Guild, a private members club for men who value ambition, camaraderie, giving back, and personal growth. For a limited time while we're fully remote, you can join the guild for free. Gain access to tons of motivational content, exclusive events, insightful discussions, and a network of high-performance individuals. Don't miss this chance to elevate your social circle. Request to join today at facebook.com/groups/Apex Gentlemen's Guild or give us a like at facebook.com/Apex Gentlemen's Guild. The Apex Gentlemen's Guild, excellence forged in unity.
All right, welcome back. This is Good on the Rocks podcast, a Buenos Dias media production. I remind you again, if you want to be part of the show, go to gritsontherocks.com, scroll down to the Contact Us section and send us your message. Send us a story if you want to participate in Whiskey Bar Wisdom or Barstool Banter, or if you got a story for Hero of the Day, or you just want to share with us a random story, go to gritsontherocks.com, scroll down to the Contact Us section and send us your message. Okay, so let's paint a scenario here. Remember that we are talking about how to find out if your man or woman is a mama's baby. Originally, it was going to be about a mama's boy, but since a lot of these scenarios go both ways, we just left it at mama's baby. So imagine this. Women, you're dating, John Doe. John Doe is handsome. He has a good job, takes you out on dates, seems like a solid dude. But then you start noticing the signs. You cook him dinner. He says, "This is good, but my mom makes it better." You plan a romantic getaway. He says, "I'll check out with my mom." You bring up moving in together. And he says, "My mom thinks we should wait." Then one day you're chilling at his place and his mom comes over unannounced with a key. She rearranges his furniture, starts folding his laundry, and asks if you're taking care of her son properly. At that point, ladies, you got to make a decision. Do you stay and become a third wheel in your own relationship? Or do you pack your bags before she starts sending you daily lists of ways you should be improving as a girlfriend? Pay attention to the signs, lady. So, can a mama's baby be fixed? That is a question people might ask, because when you're in it, sometimes people just are in too deep and they don't see it until later on when it seems to be too late. Not that it is too late, but it seems to be too late. So let's say you ignore the signs. You fell for the guy or girl, and now you're stuck in a relationship with a full-blown mama's baby. Can he or she be saved? Short answer is maybe. But it's going to take some work. Here's what you got to do, people, men and women. Set boundaries. If mom is too involved, you need to have a serious conversation about boundaries. And if they can't enforce them, then you already have your answer there, what you should do. You got to make them independent. If they still call mom for basic decisions, start pushing them to figure out things on their own. Help them grow, man up, woman up, right? If you want to say it that way. But if they fight it, then they're just not ready to grow up, right? Watch how she or he reacts. If they get defensive when you bring up his or her mama's over-involvement, that means they're not ready to cut the cord. And therefore, you already know if they can be fixed or not. Because every case is different. There's not a one answer that applies to everyone. This is on an individual case basis. But when you try to set boundaries, or you try to make them independent, and they react in a negative manner, and I'm not saying you tried it once and, oh, that's it, we got to break up. No. But if you see that it's a constant, ongoing theme, then you already have your answer. It's time to kick rocks and go. So before we finish this episode, let's jump into some whiskey bar wisdom.
Whiskey bar wisdom. Ooh.
All right, there's nothing magical about it. Here, drink this. Tell me what's on your mind. Come on.
Whiskey bar wisdom. You provide the stories, we provide the opinions. Unprofessional advice and the laughter. Great on the Rocks podcast.
This is Whiskey Bar Wisdom, where you guys send us your story and we comment. Sometimes it may seem like advice. Let me remind you, this is for entertainment purposes only. But yeah, sometimes we give advice. Sometimes we just comment. Sometimes we laugh. I mean, it's what we do here. All right, so today's email comes from Rick in Austin, submitted through gritontheRocks.com and a contact us section. It says, yo, Grit, love the show. So listen, I've been dating this girl for a year and she's amazing, except for one thing. Her dad is way too involved in our relationship. She calls him for everything, from car issues to job advice, and it's like I'm competing with him. How do I get her to cut the cord without looking like an insecure jerk? So, Rick, here's the deal. This ain't just right mama's boy problem. Some women are daddy's girls to a toxic level too. Like I said before, boundaries are key. You got to talk to her and say, babe, I love that you respect your dad, but we need to make decisions as a couple. If she gets defensive and refuses to be independent, that is a red flag, my friend. You need a partner, not someone who still needs their dad's approval to pick a damn couch. And I'm not saying that there's something wrong with calling your parents to, get an opinion about things. Like in this case, if it's car issues, if I don't know what I'm doing, I'm not going to try to be those men, there's like, oh no, let me do it. And I just make the problem worse. If her dad knows about it, why not call? But yeah, also if it's something simple, like you're getting a car, you should be talking to your spouse about this and making a decision. And again, there's nothing wrong with looking for outside opinions. But one thing is getting opinions and another thing is getting your answer, because it becomes like a directive or, a command. You got to do this. And then they go, oh no, I have to do this because my mom or dad said so. That's a totally different thing, right? So listen, fellas, if being a mama's boy is your thing, I got to tell you, it's not a good look. And for women too, if you're a daddy's girl, well, I mean, it doesn't apply the same way, but that's why I say if you're a mama's baby, it just isn't a good look for you. Women don't want to date a guy who still needs his mom to approve his haircuts. If you want respect, be a man who can stand on his own 2 feet. And ladies, if you spot the early warning signs of a mama's boy, don't ignore them. You don't want to spend your life arguing with his mother over holiday plans. Walk away early. And for the fellas, if you see a girl who refuses to make an independent home or family without her parents' permission or input, who consults life decisions that will affect you too with them before you, it's time to have a serious conversation. And if they refuse, then maybe it might be time to walk away. So if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, hit that like button, drop a comment, follow us on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook at Great on the Rocks. If you are in Spotify or any of the audio platforms, Apple Podcasts, follow the podcast, drop a comment, share it with your friends. This has been Great on the Rocks podcast, a Buenos Dias media production. Remember to keep your spirits high, your cigars lit, your glasses full, and your conversations meaningful. I am your host, David, and until next time, cheers.
Cricked on the rocks tonight, men with hearts like iron bars, tackling life's endless fight, scars becoming stars, diving deep into the void, working dreams like candy, family bonds sometimes destroyed, like fate always handy. Real men, real issues here, facing fears like storms at sea. Truth is all we hold dear, weakness set free. Help a battle we all share, fitness built with grit and sweat. Life ain't always fair, don't you dare forget. Challenges rise like mountains tall, through the haze we crawl alone. Echoes in the empty hall, our struggles carved in stone. Voices lost in loud cruel, but we rise and scream our names. Swords of truth forever hurled in this podcast game. Health's a battle we all share, fitness built with grit and sweat. Life ain't always fair, don't you dare forget. Health's a battle we all share, fitness